Hey everybody, this is Andrew Ramirez, and I just want to send out a message to say thank you all for sending me your messages, your comments, your likes, the text message, the calls that I got, even the ones that Vicky received on the note that I sent last week on my birthday about the three areas in people's life that they want to improve. It was just a gift. I didn't expect to get the response that I got, but I did, so I just thought, well, maybe this was something that people wanted to hear. So I'm coming back with you today because I have a more important message. And while I was happy with the response that I got, I was still quite disappointed because as I started to reach out to people to ask them what course of action they took based on my practical advice I gave, I got deer in the headlights. People said, well, I was inspired, I was motivated. But inspiration and motivation without action is entertainment. It's pointless. So I think maybe that I felt short. Maybe I felt short of delivering on what I should have. So I wanted to come back and give you another gift to try to help you, especially those of you who know that you want change but are stuck changing, and to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And as I was thinking how to formulate my thoughts today, it was perfect because I got an article that came across my desk. It was on the internet about Groundhog's Day. And for those of you who know or don't know, Groundhog's Day is the day where back east somewhere they go and they look for the groundhog and he comes out of his burrow. And if the groundhog sees his shadow, he gets scared and then he runs back in the hole. And then if he runs back into the hole, that means that we're then subject to an additional 6 weeks of winter. And I thought that was pretty representative of why people fail to take action. And I thought it was just really perfect for today's message, especially since we are going from winter to spring, which represents a time of dormancy and life. So if you have practical advice and you don't take it, it's probably because of the groundhog effect. You've become, in essence, a groundhog. You know that it's time for change, just as the groundhog knows spring is coming, and you emerge from your hole to take the advice, just like the practical advice I gave last week. You assess the advice, and then something happens. You see your shadow. You see your past, and you get scared, and you run back in where it's warm and comfortable. Because change is pain. And the way the human mind is programmed for probably millions of years is this flight or fight mechanism. And so we are motivated as humans. It's proven in studies. We are motivated as humans more by the fear of loss than we are the promise of gain. So that change represents a loss of some type of comfort that you have in your life. So maybe it's the food that you eat, or maybe it's spending at Marshall's whenever the heck you want to spend as opposed to budgeting, or maybe it's communicating how you really feel to your partner as opposed to just keeping your mouth shut to let things continue the way they are so you don't rock the boat and make it worse. The second thing is that we as humans, psychologically, will take action towards the lower threshold of pain. So in assessing two different options, we will take the low road out, right? So in this case, you got the whole looking into the past, the shadows, the comfort, and you want to stay, the fear of loss, and you also have the threshold issue. So I want to challenge you today to think about whether or not you failed to take action last week because you became the groundhog. And I want to ask you, do you want to endure another 6 weeks of your winter, whatever that winter is? And when you think about that, I want you to think about what you're sacrificing for your family and the loved ones around you by not making the changes that you know you should make. And in doing so, you then are presented with two thresholds of pain again. And so in my life, for example, it was when I decided that I wanted to stop drinking alcohol. When I looked at alcohol and what it did in my life, to stop drinking, and the habit that I had was like I just stuck in the rut because of what I talked about earlier. But then when I started to assess what it was doing in my life, and it was doing lots of things. It was ruining my finances, it was ruining my relationships, and it was ruining my health. And then I thought, if I don't stop this, then I will lose. Now the threshold of pain for these other things goes higher. I will lose my relationships. I will lose my health. I will lose my finances to this. So I flipped it on its back, and then I was able to overcome that challenge. So I challenge you to look at the specific area in your life that you want to overcome. And when those fears come up, when those comforts come up, when that threshold of pain comes up, acknowledge it and say, okay, it's valid. It is a valid concern of mine. What is the cost? What is the risk? What am I risking not having by staying in this particular situation? And if you're like most people, it's you're risking a wonderful relationship. You're risking having a nice pocketbook. You're risking looking and feeling great about yourself. And maybe that will then shift the scales of the pain pleasure threshold, and then you'll be able to take action. So what I want you to do today, and I challenge you, is to do that, think about it, write it down, and then let me know what you think in the comments so that I don't feel bad about myself for falling short on a message that was meant to help. So this is Andrew Ramirez saying, are you going to be a groundhog, or are you going to submerge from that hole a new person, just like Easter Sunday around the corner, which is, quite frankly, another beautiful analogy for what we're talking about. Anyways, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.